friends, now we are going to see about endocrine system. Endo means inside, crine means secretions. So inside the body we have the secretory system which we call it as endocrine system. And we have the two types of glands basically. One is exocrine glands and endocrine glands. Exocrine glands we also call it as duct glands which will release the secretions outside the blood. Endocrine glands are the glands which are ductless glands, means there is no any duct, and those release the secretions inside the blood. And coming to the majorly, we have the coordination of activities in human is being divided by two systems. One is nervous system, other one is endocrine system. So both will be for action and reaction stimulus only. So nervous system is very slow acting, but the endocrine system will be for very long lasting acting, and nervous system is for a short term period and endocrine system is for a long term. Coming to the differences between nervous system versus endocrine system. First, nervous system transmits the electrical impulses. Endocrine system transmits chemical biological messenger impulses. Nervous system use the neurons to transmit the signals. Here it uses the circulatory system, blood, to transmit the signals. The nervous system signal transmission is fast. Its signal transmission is very slow. Here the effect is localized. Here the effect is widespread. Next, endocrine glands and hormones. Coming to the endocrine glands, we call it as ductless glands. So they secrete the hormones. The hormones are non-nutrient chemicals, acts as intercellular messengers. So they are produced in trace amounts, means very small amounts. Coming to the next, human endocrine system, we have the different kinds of glands. One is pituitary gland, which is the master gland. Pineal gland, pea-sized gland. Thyroid gland, which is situated at the neck region in a form, it will be in a shape of butterfly. Parathyroid gland. We have the four parathyroid glands which are present behind the thyroid gland in a form of small nodules. Thymus gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, gonads, nothing but testis in males and ovary in female. Coming to the number of glands, we have one pituitary gland, one pineal gland, one thyroid gland, four parathyroid gland, one thymus gland, two adrenal gland because of two kidneys, one pancreas, two testes and two ovaries. It means nothing but pair of testes and pair of ovaries. Coming to the situations, in the near the brain we have the pituitary gland and pineal gland. At the region of the neck we have the butterfly shaped thyroid gland. Behind that we have the parathyroid gland. And near the heart region we have the thymus. And near the stomach region, on the kidneys we have the adrenal. Near the stomach we have the pancreas. Nothing but the duodenum because of the U-shaped or the C-shaped duodenum because of this curve of pancreas. Next we have the pair of testes, ovaries. Yeah, these are the locations, numbers and types of the glands. Coming to the first, hypothalamus. Location, just below the thalamus. The name itself says hypothalamus means below the thalamus, just above the brainstem. So this is the hypothalamus gland. This is just below the thalamus, above the brainstem. So it synthesizes and secretes certain neurohormones. These hormones regulate the synthesis and secretion of pituitary hormones. The two types of hormones produced by the hypothalamus are releasing hormones and inhibiting hormones. Coming to the first, so hypothalamus synthesize and release hypophysiotropic hormones, nothing but thyrotropin releasing hormone, so which will act on the pituitary. So corticotropin releasing hormone, gonadotropin releasing hormone, growth hormone releasing hormone, and growth hormone inhibiting hormone, prolactin releasing factor, prolactin releasing hormone. These are all the list of the hormones secreted by hypothalamus. So coming to this picture, so the hypothalamus, and this is the pituitary. The pituitary is being divided into adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. Why we call the pituitary as hypophysis means this is located below the hypothalamus. Because of that only we call it as hypophysis, right? So we have a direct connections. So through the neural, all this, so for example, the hormone secreted in the hypothalamus is being released and which is being produced in hypothalamus will be stored in the neurohypophysis, nothing but the neural part, and get released from this part. And next, pituitary gland, a marble sized at the base of the brain. Location, in the brain cavity called sella turcica. So this is the pituitary gland. Here we have one bony sized projection inside the brain cavity, inside the skull cavity, which we call it as sella turcica. Controlled by hypothalamus, means pituitary gland is controlled by hypothalamus or other neural mechanisms, and therefore the middleman. So divided anatomically into adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. So the anterior we call it as adenohypophysis, this is the adenohypophysis, and this is the neurohypophysis. So hypothalamus, this is the mammillary body, we have the anterior pituitary adenohypophysis, and this is the optic chiasma. This is pars tuberalis, pars intermedia, and pars distalis. So the whole pituitary is been divided into three parts: pars tuberalis, pars intermedia, and pars distalis. Coming to the first, so anterior pituitary gland will produce nothing but adenohypophysis will produce growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, adenocorticotropic hormone, prolactin, luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone. Next, posterior pituitary, nothing but neurohypophysis, will produce only two hormones: oxytocin, vasopressin, or antidiuretic hormone. So coming to the role of pituitary hormones. First, growth hormone. The name itself says which will induces the growth, means which will increases the growth. So all the cells in the body stimulates the growth and repair. Hypersecretion of growth hormone leads to gigantism, and low secretion of the growth hormone will result in stunted growth, which we call it as dwarfism, means short people. Next, thyroid stimulating hormone. Coming to the thyroid, so which will be the target organ is thyroid, which will stimulate the thyroid gland to secrete the hormones called thyroxine T4 and triiodothyronine. This we call it as tetraiodothyronine. This we call it as triiodothyronine T4 and T3. It regulates the body metabolic activities, nothing but BMR. Next, ACTH, adenocorticotropic hormone. The target organs are adrenals. Stimulates the adrenal gland to produce the glucocorticoids. Next, prolactin, which will be the target organ will be breast. Stimulates the growth of the mammary gland and the formation of milk. Next, luteinizing hormone, which will act on testes, ovaries. Testes in man, ovaries in women. Luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone are called gonadotropins, as stimulate the gonadal activity. So the luteinizing hormone stimulates the synthesis and secretion of hormones called androgens from testes, and stimulates the ovaries to produce estrogens as well as progesterone. So the coming to the role of pituitary, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, which will act on the ovaries in the woman. Stimulates the growth and development of the ovarian follicles in female. Next, melanocyte stimulating hormone. So melanocytes in the skin stimulates the production and release of melanin, which regulates the pigmentation of the skin. Next, oxytocin, which will act on uterus and breast. Stimulates a vigorous contraction of the uterus at the time of childbirth, means at the time of parturition, and milk ejection from the mammary gland after the birth. Next, vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone, which will act on the kidneys, stimulates the reabsorption of water, means which will prevent the diluted urine, means because of this hormone only our urine is concentrated, and electrolytes by distal tubules, and reduces the loss of water through urine, nothing but which will prevent diuresis. Pineal gland. The pineal gland is the reddish grey and about the size of grain of rice in humans. Location, on the dorsal side of the forebrain. Hormone is melatonin. Melanin stimulating hormone is different from melatonin. Both are different. So melanin stimulating hormone which will act on the skin color. Melatonin is for circadian rhythms, nothing but diurnal and day and night cycles, nocturnal cycles. Functions, it affects the modulation of sleep pattern in the circadian rhythms and seasonal functions. It helps in the maintains the body temperature. It influences the metabolism, pigmentation, the menstrual cycle, as well as our defense capability. Okay, these are the three important glands, and in the next videos we will discuss the remaining glands and the endocrine system. Thank you very much. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel.